A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the opportunity to have been part of this 2024 Hajj pilgrimage. And we want to also thank the President of our country for also giving us opportunity and other Nigerians to be able to perform this ritual and obligation. My assessment of the operation in general, for the Saudis, they've done their best. But for us as a country, we have failed. We have failed and continue to fail and fail and fail. Nahcon is supposed to be a regulator, not an operator. But Nahcon has decided to continue to play the part of operation, and therefore they failed pilgrims. Can you imagine that the feeding of pilgrims in Medina, the accommodation in Medina, the tents in Muna and Arafah, the transportation, both land and air freight, all is handled by Nahcon. Even the medical workers, they are selected from the states and the funds are released from the states to Nahcon. So all these things hinder operations. There is no country that does that in the whole world. And very few countries have bodies like Nahcon. So our general overview is for Nahcon to continue to be a regulator, not an operator. In my state, we lost to Medina due to their state of health. And this is one of the reasons I'm talking about Nahcon. Because if medical part of the pilgrimage is handled by states, you will do your screening. You see people who are diabetic, who have underlying illnesses, and you'll be able to understand how you can transport them. But nobody does that because Nahcon is in charge. So we lost 2 due to medical issues, and we lost another 4 due to heat wave. So in my state. And in Nigeria, I'm sure it can be less than 100 in general. So this is not a good number, and this should stop. Let state governments be able to do the right thing, screen their pilgrims, check their statuses, health-wise, and even for those that are going to be coming for medical, let us even understand that they're coming for medical. Let us understand the kind of medication they are taking. But nobody does that because Nahcon is handling it. Let me tell you, it's unfortunate, and there is need for the National Assembly to probe these funds. As a state governor, I want to lead the Committee of Governors of the NGF to scrap Nahcon. Nahcon is not helping matters. Federal government is too big to be worried about Hajj operations. These are supposed to be local government issues, not even state issues. So state government should be able to organize pilgrimage and get agents from the private sector who will do this thing the best way, like other countries are doing. The government has no business in doing this business. Again, can you imagine governors of Nigeria, the Speaker of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, paying money to Nahcon and coming to Mina, no place for him to sleep, and embarrassed, or no place for governors to sleep, is embarrassed? People would say because governors have been touched. Yes, governors have been touched. But it is good that governors have been touched. It is good that the Speaker of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has been affected. It is time for us now in the learning curve to change the narratives. Let state governments handle Hajj operations. The 90 billion you are talking about the federal government gave, imagine sharing it with our 6 states and see what the state, there is no state. My state, for example, and other states in the north have given between 3 to 5 billion naira subsidy, additional to what government has brought in. That 90 billion is enough to run UBEC budget for 4 years. So we cannot be handing our resources to people. And people paid 8 million naira for these operations directly before even the subsidy, and they got only $400. This is ridiculous. What is $400? Somebody pays 8 million naira to you, Nahcon, and you come and give them stipends of $400 to run themselves for 1 month. There is no even reason why a Hajj operation should last beyond 2 weeks. You bring pilgrims for 40 days, you leave them here, some 45 days. It's ridiculous because of racketeering in airlifting, in handling of cargo and other things. Let the private sector drive hatch operations. Government should be a regulator. Nahcon should be a regulator at the center. If Nahcon must exist, then they should strictly be a regulator. But as I've told you, I'm leading committees of governors to the NGF. From there, we'll go to the NEC. I will propose this motion. We'll send a bill to the National Assembly where this issue of Nahcon should be reviewed. The only way forward is for people that let there be separation of powers and responsibility. Nahcon, by the laws that have brought them to existence, are supposed to be regulators to make sure that things are done rightly. But Nahcon has no business in chartering of flights. It is not their business to feed the pilgrims because the food they are giving people. For example, I'm from Niger State. If you allow me to feed my pilgrims, I'll be able to transship food that people are locally used to, to Saudi Arabia, to feed my own pilgrims. I'll be able to get a kitchen that will feed my pilgrims from what they are used to, not to come and give them slice of bread or boiled egg, one piece of egg, and people are starving. We have different cultures. You cannot force the Arabian cuisine on our people, and that's why they are falling sick. Some people want to drink kunu, some people want to eat masa, and so on and so forth. But Nahcon wouldn't do that because they contracted to the Arabians, and I don't know the reason. So these things are frustrating. So there is no synergy, really, between the state governments, the local governments together, and the Nahcon. So there is need for us to sit on a round table to define roles and responsibility. But in a nutshell, in a summary, I would tell you the 2024 hatch operation is a failure.